Alright guys, I've seen several videos of people trying to remove the bearings from the inner part of the rim on a motorcycle. This could be Harley, Jap bike, it don't really matter. They're all about the same. Same concept anyway. So usually you have a seal right here on the outside. I've already taken that out. And most time you're going to damage that seal, so let's go ahead and plan on at least new seals anyway. So alright, so what we're going to look at is you have a sealed bearing right here, and these bearings are actually sealed only on the outside. So the inner part of the bearing, and that would be the outside, and this is what's going to be on the inside of the wheel. So no seal cover on that. So this wheel came off a 06 GSXR 1000, and I'm just getting ready to send the wheels out to be powder coated. So I got to strip everything down, get the bearings out, everything off, so I can send this wheel out. All right, so what you have is a bearing on each side. So a bearing on, each side. You got a spacer in between that your axle runs through. Now, usually this spacer is going to be fairly tight between each bearing, so it rides on the inner race. Should be fairly snug. I noticed this one when I pulled it out. It is loose, so that tells me that one of these bearings may not be seated all the way to the rim, so it should be fairly tight. Usually they are tight, so what I do is I'll take a rod, just whatever type of rod, and I run it down to maybe 3/4 way to the other end, and then I just pull back on the rod, pop it back, whatever I got to do, and it'll loosen up. And down at the bottom, it is off center, so you should be able to get to the inner race of that bearing with a rod or a punch. This wheel is pretty deep, so a punch is probably going to be too short. Used a punch on the front wheel, so a rod will work. A lot of people say, you don't want to hit on the bearings, you could damage the bearings, but if you're pulling these bearings out, you might as well plan on replacing them anyway. So bearing kit comes with seals, bearings, not that expensive, so I wouldn't worry too much about hitting on the inner race. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a few taps on this and see what happens. I'm gonna use my phone here, so get it set up here. So yeah. All right, so get you a good solid hammer. I'm using a brass hammer for this. This is what I have right now. So the side you moved it on, the side you see, you want to start with that side first. So real good solid tap. Go straight over to the other side. That spacer should be loose now. So go over to the other side, pop it, and just keep going in quarter rotations across from each other. Very simple. Bearings out. So now that you got the bearing out, you can tell, there's no visual damage to the bearing, but it could stretch at your inner race of the bearings, or your actual ball bearings and the cage around the bearings. So yeah, like I said, if you're taking bearings out, plan on replacing them anyway. So now I got a tire changer, so this works out good for me as far as clamping the wheel down. Pull that wheel up, there's your spacer. I wouldn't do a lot of hitting on the spacer. I've seen some videos hitting on the spacer, so that's aluminum, very light, soft metal. You damage that spacer, yeah, you can file it back, clean it up, but no use to hit on it. So now we just flip the wheel over, and lock her down. So now that's what you got. this is what I was talking about, that inner lip of the wheel. That bearing should seat on that inner lip. And when you seat both bearings with the spacer in the middle, that spacer should be fairly tight. So it should be, and then when you lock the wheel down with the spacers and your axle, it all should, you know, all the pressure should be on the spacers and I guess the inner race of the bearing is all ties together. So usually what I do here is I'll just take a pipe that I got. It's the same. Well, that bearing's bigger, so I can't use that one. All right, so I can take that same, you know, the same rod and just get on that inner race. It's a lot easier to get to now since I got the spacer out. So again, you know, I'd start like, I'd say, you know, I call it 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6, 9, 3, 12, 6, 9, 3, 12, 6, 9. I hear it making a different sound, so it's getting ready to come out. So if you notice it's getting ready to come out, you ain't got to hit it as hard, just tap it. There you go. Again, it's fairly simple. No special tools. Yeah, you know, if you want to go out and buy a special tool, that's great. But like I said, don't really hurt anything. Just that's the way I do it. So hope this video helps. Like I said, I saw several videos, just different ways of doing it, and maybe this may, you know, show another way of doing this. All right, guys. Good luck with whatever you do, whatever you're working on. Just be safe. All right, have a good day.